in the lead up to Starfield and then even the reaction afterwards, one of the things I talked a lot about on the Gamescast was that this is a Bethesda game. And I didn't mean it derogatory, right? But I was talking about the systems and the way they work and da-da-da. And obviously, so many people, and I'll throw it around too, both jovial and serious to an issue, of Bethesda jank kind of thing and all that. Like, how do you view what a Bethesda game is?
Well, number one for us, it's about the player and their freedom. What kind of agency do they have to kind of go explore, make the character they want, and then kind of, do whatever they want. So the more that we can push that agency in terms of, hey, go do whatever you want, we're going to try to pay off on that. I think when you look at open world games or games like that, you're going to get a certain level of, use your phrase, a certain level of jank or a certain level of, well, that tested an edge or it's doing something that, we hadn't intended. I do, data wise, and I believe Starfield, is the most solid release we've had given its complexity, at that moment. But look, there's always going to be some things that we miss or people want us to get better, and we just keep pushing to make it better and better. So again, some of that comes with the style of game, but we are sometimes, how to say this, in the point of, do we want to constrain the player more to get rid of something that might look odd on the screen when we're testing? We'll say, like, well, how odd does that look? And oftentimes it might be like an animation breakdown or something like that. And we often, this is just us, will kind of lean on, well, let it go. Is the player having fun there? Sure. If it's an actual bug, we absolutely try to fix it. But if there's like, kind of a visual hiccup once in a while with something and the player's having fun, they're able to do something, like, yeah, let it go.
Yeah, again, I think that speaks to who you are as a developer, the company, and then the audience you've curated, where it's that thing where, to your point, game can launch, it can have this problem, this isn't working. You guys are committed to fixing it and getting it where it needs to be, and then, of course, it'll be whatever it is at the end, but even when it's not working, that's the experience I'm looking for from your games, right? Like last night, in reference to getting ready for this, like I'm very similar to you, right? Of like this weekend I'm bouncing around and I was like, I jumped in, last night was Sunday, right? So Saturday night I jumped back into Fallout 4 Next Gen, loaded up my 96-hour save, and it was literally like, where was I? What was I doing? All right, you know what? Re-rolled last night and going through, and it's just that instantaneous of like, damn, this is why I love these games. And it is the minutia that I can sit there and I'm at the terminal and I'm just reading the overseer notes. I'm going through to make sure everybody's deceased. I'm doing, and it's like, I understand why someone else would play this and be like, this is boring. I don't want to do this. I understand why that wouldn't work. In the same reason, I love Starfield so much. I understand why some people were like, oh, well, this isn't X, Y, or Z for me, or I wanted more choice, more agency, however it's going to be. But, for me, it was such a fix in Starfield of, oh, well, in Fallout 4, I really didn't like base building. So the fact that it was in Starfield, but you didn't have to do it. And I know you got knocked in reviews for that because it was like, oh, well, some of this doesn't feel impactful. For me, it was the idea that, well, I had choice in agency and what I wanted to do with my time in the game. Does that make sense? Is that what you were going for?
It does. I think, look, with all of the games, we'd rather give you the option. You talked about, like, I'm a big believer in like the players being self-directed. So if you want to sit in the terminals and read all the notes, I think some players they like that more than others, but all players at some point or another are in the mood for that. They just need a break from the action. They can kind of self-direct. Like, I really love the quiet moments. I like to stand on the hills and watch the sunset in games. And then sometimes, like, nah, I'm really in the mood for some action. And so as long as we're showing the players, this is where this type of content is, this is where this type of content is. And so, base building or the camp building in Fallout 4, when we first did it, was very much, even in the studio, how is this impacting the game? What is this like? And the players of Fallout 4, kind of the first time we did it, some people will be like, I don't like that at all. I don't want to do that. And then other players are like, that's all I do. I love it. To become a huge part of 76 then. So we definitely felt in Starfield, hey, this has a home in the game, particularly if you're getting into high-level crafting, but do you have to do it? No. Is that a negative in some people's eyes that they don't have to do it? Maybe so. I can't pass judgment on that, except to say that a lot of people like it in Starfield. So we want to make sure those that like that kind of, we're serving them. Shipbuilding became the big one. And in the update that we have coming, I think it's going to get announced in a few days, actually, this week, and be up on Steam beta. It's got some great stuff for shipbuilding in it as well.
Is that for the big update, Shattered Space, or is this just an update?
This is a separate update.
Okay.
Shattered Space is in the fall, but we have a big update that's coming really soon for Starfield. Does a lot of stuff, mostly because you kept mentioning it in particular. We redid the map stuff, so we have some city map stuff.